Hey Sean, how's it going?
And yourself?
Good, good. Can't complain. Let's see. I'm gonna make a post in the school, but if you have questions, we can dive into any topics. Any
Yeah,
questions?
I was just watching the VSL stuff.
Okay.
I guess I just have a questions in general about like the whole process. I mean, I understand the last one you did, you kind of you said this step goes first.
hmm
Um, so is that like when you say that, is that like building landing pages and like selling it, like pre-selling it? Like is
So,
it what's the just give me 1 second. I've been it's like the playbook, the lean startup playbook. Is that kind of what you're following?
so the it's everything is derived from the sales letter in VSL.
Okay.
So the landing pages, the wording, the messaging that you'll have on the landing pages that will be the most effective will be derived from the sales letter.
Okay.
So I'll give you an example. Let's see, Clipio.com. Okay, the new owners haven't changed it, I guess. It's still the same landing page. So we can dive into this as an example. Let me just let in Lorenzo. Cool. So with this example, and then let me just open up the doc. Doo-doo-doo. Writing, recording a sales letter. Cool. So let's find Clipio's
Yeah, this
template.
is just where I was at. So it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the template that I gave is down here. Okay, niche specific headline. So we have a couple of language templates that I like to use. A lot of
Yep.
this is derived from Sales Process IO. It's from Nick Cosman. I found it to be the most effective sales letter framework, and we've used it for plenty of projects, and a couple are listed here. And so the one I use for Clipio, let's see, basically this one, for niche, how to go from state one to state two and time frame using mechanism. And you can kind of mess around with it a bit more. You can make it a bit more like a little different. Um, but essentially, if you go check out the landing page, get 10x more replies with video outreach, it kind of all follows a similar messaging that's derived from the sales letter. So that's why I kind of build it first before anything else. And the same thing that I told Gabriel on last call is you don't just dive into the product, right? You have your MVP, but like what comes before the MVP? Like there has to be a thesis. There has to be, you know, why you're building the MVP, what's going to be included in the MVP. So it's kind of just your thesis overall. So that's why I like doing it before, and it gives you clarity when you're building the MVP as well. Does that answer the question, or did you have a different question with regards to it?
Sorry, I was on mute. So yes, it does. Like um, I get what you're saying with like building out the value and understanding the value of the product you're going to develop and all that stuff. I just don't. I mean, my brain, sales in my brain in this regard don't go well together. So I get stuck on a lot of these like flow concepts and stuff like that. Like development, I can get into it and get it done and all that kind of stuff. So this is where my learning really needs
It's
to
just
come in and
creativity.
understand.
Don't think of
Yeah.
it as sales. Think of it as just creativity
Okay.
with the product that you're building. And if this is your first time writing VSL or sales letter, basically just think of it as like a white paper. Like you have the Bitcoin white paper, which went super viral and is still viral to this day. That's all it is. It's just basically the white paper to what you're building.
Okay.
The sales folks just call it a sales letter, VSL, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's just a thesis for yourself. And then it can also be used in your marketing, which, yeah, the VSL is basically just a marketing machine. But it's not going to be easy if it's the first time you're doing it. But
Okay.
just if you need more guidance, just go through the video again, go through the actual framework step by step, and then go through all of these sales letters, and you'll kind of just see how I mapped each single part to every step of the framework. Um, and then if you have any specific questions on any parts, then yeah, let me know, and we can dive in like deep.
Okay,
Um,
well, I don't know if you want to keep going. Like, if you want to, if you can go to my landing page for my agents. I haven't
yep.
started selling this yet, but it's agents.cruisecompare.ca.
Can you drop the link in the Zoom chat, and I'll just click it.
Sure.
All right, let's take a look. Okay, so you don't need to put your domain here, your
Okay.
H1 tag, I guess. Just try, I guess, follow this. You need a niche specific headline right here, right in the middle. Designed for travel agents by travel agents. So yeah, that's good. You're going to the niche for travel agents. Our platform is your first class ticket to simplifying cruise searches, optimize bookings, delivering apparel experience to your clients, elevate service. Okay, so it's for travel agents. So let's whip up a new doc here. I'll just use the same template. The way I would go about it
Hmm.
for
Yeah, this is
travel
great.
agents. Platform is your first class ticket to simplify searches, optimize bookings, and deliver apparel experience. Okay, so basically, what is the current problem? So how to go from for travel agents, you could say something just go from um
So,
for
I mean,
for
maybe let me express.
yep,
Maybe I mean the wording might not even be right with my problem solution. I guess you could say is so we agents have lists of 30,000 cruises that are special rates that we're not allowed to advertise in market.
okay.
So we have contracts basically saying we can't like put it on Google, we can't put it out publicly. We can put it on our website though, like to our clients only kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's no way for us, like there's no solution out there for us to be able to promote these cruises to our clients.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this software solves is like I can so these deals come in spreadsheets that every agency gets, and then my software uploads the all of the data into um, the back end, and then it displays it in a user friendly manner that they can search and all that filter and all that kind of stuff. So
Okay.
that's basically what it does.
And you're selling this to the travel agents who then sell it to their clients.
So they would not sell it to their clients. Their clients would, I mean, they could if they want to, but it's not built that way. It's built like their clients basically they promote their basically they'll get their own URL. They can promote it and say, hey, you can check out all our amazing deals here, kind of thing. And then the client would go through and search and sign up and get emails and all that kind of stuff. So it has a full email marketing integration into it and everything.
Okay. But at the end of the day, you're basically supplying travel agents with call it
A
like
tool.
a deal for them to then go.
It's a tool to promote their special rates, basically. That's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm. And why can't the agents get those deals directly?
They
Um,
can get those. So the agents do get the deals directly, but they have no way of marketing them. Like it's hard to market them because of the restrictions on the way we're allowed to market them.
Okay, so you're helping them market it.
Yes.
I see. Is there an example of another competitor or one or two people that I can also check?
So the reason I built this was because there was no one who
I see.
offers anything similar.
I see. I see.
So there are no competitors for this exact product. I mean, a competitor would technically be Expedia Cruise Ship Centers. It would be
Like a
uh,
sell-off vacations or something.
yeah, Sell Off Vacations. Like that's who the
Yeah.
agent is competing with. But there are no softwares. I guess this software helps them compete with those agencies because they can. There's a like if we log on, I can show you like what it looks like and all that kind of stuff. But it gives all the details to the cruises, where they go, the price, all that kind of stuff. So it's a cruise search engine, but it has to be behind a user paywall, or not paywall, but a user registration process so that it's not considered marketed to the public.
Okay, so when these travel agents are buying from you, say, "Hey, Sean, I want to sign up." What's their like just biggest desire? Is basically just getting more cruises
More,
sold,
yeah, more bookings at better rates. So that it's
better
an
rates,
ability
bookings.
to,
Okay.
yeah. So like some of the prices are 50 to 70% off what you can get in market, which is why we're not allowed to advertise them.
Hey,
You
Sean.
said you said how much? 50 to 70%?
Yeah.
Hey, Sean, quick question. So the I work a lot in the insurance space, and
Yep.
with insurance, there's a million carriers that you can write through, but the people that make it easiest get the most business because you don't have to submit manual paperwork or fill out forms. They have more automated processes. So
Yep.
is this product like instead of an agent basically keeping all this on an Excel spreadsheet and then doing VLOOKUPs and sorting, and it's just a cleaner interface for them to quickly find the destinations that people want, and then they get all the the rates, et cetera, with it.
Exactly. So that's exactly what happens. Some of the agents don't even know these spreadsheets exist. So they're not selling to them to begin with. They're not selling these cruises. Um, so that's one. Two, if they do have the spreadsheets and they're looking at them, then it's a matter of like, oh, a client wants a trip, and then you have to go searching through the spreadsheet to find a deal for them. Um, so this then puts it all on the web where the client can actually go like searching for a cruise. Because one of the kind of requests we get a lot of is like, well, I don't really know where I want to go. I just want a good deal.
Yeah.
So it kind of, and when they come to an agent like that, it's like, well, I mean, where do I even begin like spending hours of my time when someone might not book, right?
Gotcha. So
So
you
it's putting it kind of, it's an easy way to get the clients into the deals, um, without having to spend a lot of time on maintaining them, uploading them, doing all of that kind of stuff. And it kind of helps the client also find the cruise they're looking for based on various factors like when they have their holidays and all that kind of stuff, right? So
Yeah. So, Matthew, I guess like it's basically bringing a spreadsheet driven operation to, a nice interface on
Mm-hmm.
half of it. The other half is people either like hunting themselves for all of this information. So you kind of have two branches, people that have this and just need to access it much faster and better, and then people
yeah,
that have access that are just selling to the one or two carriers that they know best or have good portals. And so now you're opening up their total addressable cruise
Okay.
availability.
It's definitely always better to just speak to one, I'd say. So, Sean, do you find like most of your customers are in the bucket of people that already have the information or they don't and they're looking to hunt? And
so I mean, my ideal target market is people who understand the the rates that exist. Yes.
mhm.
So they know these rates exist. They sell these rates frequently, and they may use the spreadsheet. They may use some other tools that are exist. They're more agent tools, not like booking tools, not something a client would ever see.
Mhm.
So it's a time saver basically.
Yeah, okay. So I would just speak to one person, like his name is John. He's a travel agent. He is just looking for all this stuff here. I would just
Yeah.
say basically like John. And is there like is it basically just in seconds or in minutes? Like how long does it take really for to get this like result for them?
Um,
Like they log
so
in and like how fast can they just get what they need
yeah, it's like I can in an hour.
in 1 hour?
Yeah, less than an hour. Like once they're signed up there and they pick a domain name, it takes a bit for the domain name to obviously publish and the SSLs to get set up. But
Hmm.
that's all automated. Like the second they pick a domain name,
Yep. Okay.
um, it goes and then all the deals. So the one caveat at the beginning, I'm going to say that is that I currently only have deals for my agency. Now my agency in Canada has over 1,000 agents. So that's kind of my initial target market is like I don't want to call it a beta test, but that's my kind of um, so
Hmm.
there's a small group of agents who currently can only use this, but I'm working on like if someone else were to come on with a different agency, all I would need them to do is forward them. So there would be a manual process if they were with a different agency.
Hmm. I see. Mm, I'm still not 100% crystal clear on
Okay.
the messaging side. It's still a little cloudy, but if I'm gonna just say something and let me know if it makes sense for you and
Okay.
your industry. I would say something like travel agents get 50 to 70% um you this is good. Like you kind of you want numbers in your headline. Like you want the 60 minutes or less. You need a time frame. 50 to 70% cheaper is good. Just choose a number. I would say just do 60% cheaper. 60% cheaper, 60 minutes. Like this is good. Congruency. Let's do like
So I would say something like something about getting your clients
get your
60%
clients
savings.
60%. Get your clients.
Yeah, 60% savings on their next cruise. I don't know. It's
Yeah, on their next cruise in the
under
next
60, yeah, under 60
60
minutes or something
minutes.
like that.
Like something like that. So when I come to the website, rather than, all this, I would basically just have one big bold line. And
Okay.
then you can have like a quick demo video of like 3 minutes structured with the VSL and just kind of recording it and then doing a demo of the platform. I think it's just going to be more effective than this current hero section. Just
Okay.
saying travel agents get your clients 60% savings on their next cruise in the next 60 minutes or less. Like or
Yeah.
just something along the lines here is just sharp. You can make it even sharper. You can play around with it, but yeah, that's definitely good.
Perfect. Thank you.
Does that help?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, so anytime you're just going through new VSL angles, just jot down ideas like the main things that the people want, the main problem that it solves, and just yeah, include it here.
Okay.
From state one, you can even include, go from, where they're currently at, and then add that using mechanism. So you can say,
It just popped in my head as like go from spreadsheets to
yeah, it's
digital,
another thing. Go from spreadsheets to
um, yeah, automation.
I would even give it a name. So with mechanism, I would give it, I would say using software. Like, when you go to a You know, when like let's say Salesforce.com and they have a name for like a mechanism, they call it, like Einstein AI or whatever. Like give it, you could even add a name to your mechanism. You'll see it a lot with the marketers. They give a name to their mechanism,
Okay.
and people are like, "Well, what's that?" And they kind of
Yeah.
just want to like learn more about what that mechanism is to get this result here, right? So you can give it, you know, cruise using our or using
We all brainstorm something.
yeah. Um, I'll give an example, a very easy one. Like when you look at BizOp opportunities, Ty Lopez, when he basically coined the term like SMMA and he was selling people on that mechanism, like how to make 6 figures a year with SMMA. Well, everyone's like, what's SMMA? And now it's like he basically created that term. But you look at people like I know Serge Guattari is a good marketer in the space. He's using a term called build and release, like how to sell, build and release and growth infrastructures in a business. And they're like, okay, well, what's that? How to charge, you know, 10, 15K building growth infrastructures and building and releasing your offer, like these kind of terms. Um, there's a couple if you just look in the
Okay.
marketing space, yeah. Give it a mechanism name. I try to come up with one as
Okay.
well. I'll give a good example. One more. There's this guy, he's a good marketer, coet.org. There's this guy's name is Sander, and he's selling a BizOp opportunity. And he called it IPGA. Smartest path to building a 10 to 50K per month online business in 2024 using the IPGA model. And he calls it the Info Product Growth Agency. Basically, just his own term, his own mechanism, where someone's like, "What's IPGA?" and then they'll watch like
Okay.
a video. So yeah, give it like some name. It could even be like Cruise using the Cruise Compare portal, whatever it is. Yeah, yeah. Let me know when you come
Okay.
up with, and yeah,
Okay.
we
Perfect.
can talk about it more.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hmm. All right, guys. Any topics? Any questions? We can just dive into things. There's a
Sorry
couple
for
things
being
I can
late.
even dive into later, but
I'm sorry for being late. So I want to catch up. Um, you guys were talking about improving the websites, correct?
yeah, so Sean had a question about the VSL and sales letter.
Okay.
Oh.
I have not yet done my own, but in the next week or 2 weeks, I will be having a ready-made VSL with everything and product ready. Product
Mhm.
ready, the pages, not the product itself, but just to
Yeah,
see
guys,
what's
when you like create the VSL, like we can go through it together. Like
okay.
that's like
Perfect.
the power is like we have great minds that join.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I really need some help in getting the word out
Mm-hmm.
to be able to see if it's a good fit or not for what I want to implement.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Okay, thank you very much for that information.
Mm-hmm. And like real quick, I'm not like the best guy on VSLs and sales letters. I've been writing them for the last 5 years though, and it's helped me scale my own agency. When we were doing paid ads, I basically took my VSL and on every single sales call that I took with these e-com owners and SaaS companies, when I would walk them through essentially or like a sales deck demo on these calls, I would just walk them through the VSL and we would be closing $10,000 deals, $15,000 deals just from the VSL. So that plus doing VSLs for my own SaaS to get users and yeah, I mean it's effective. But I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm like the best guy on VSLs. But we do follow a pretty good framework from the sales process IO team. I found it to be very, very effective. So yeah, it works. It works. I know Nick made like 20 mil selling consulting deals with a couple different sales letters of his using the same framework. So yep, it's good stuff.
Yes, awesome to know.
Mm.
So when will be the next phases on the portal?
Sorry, I didn't catch that. What was the question?
When will be the next phases available on the portal?
Yeah, so I'm building out the next entire week is already built out. I have to record it and launch it, and then the one after that is 80% done. So I'm gonna group those two together, and you're gonna have the third and fourth done, and that goes over pricing, that goes over MVP stuff, and there's another key thing in there. Pricing is definitely a big one.
Because I wanted to address that as well, to develop the website, to have like all the things related to the pricing and know the structures, deals for everything. So I want to understand that much
Yeah.
better than
Yeah, it's
the rest.
technically in the doc. If you come in here and just click on the resource doc, it's all in the doc. I just have to record 3.1 to 4.2. So all this stuff is going to be grouped together, and I'll just upload it whenever it's good. Definitely this week. Goes through the MVP
Okay.
stuff, prioritizing MVP features, and this is good. We literally go through our entire process of how we used our feedback from, it was then called sales pages, and that got revamped into Clipio. So I go through that entire transformation process. I'll show how we use the feedback to iterate. Yeah, then we go
And
into
how you come
pricing.
up with the
Yep.
pricing? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I
we'll
was
get
asking.
into it. Just wait for the module. I won't talk about it here. Wait for
Okay,
the
okay.
module, then watch it, and then if you have questions, then we'll dive into it. But yeah, it'll be out soon.
Okay, perfect.
Yep. And this one is kind of, I wouldn't even say controversial, but this one here on picking, I was writing this one yesterday, picking customer acquisition channels. And that one I thought is like, if you could only pick one, of course, plenty different ones work. Like you can literally find success even just going on Reddit and getting users from posting in subreddits. Like there's so many things you can do. But the goal is just to pick one and just get very good at it. And I thought, I'm like, if you could pick one, and this is biased because we're building a Facebook growth automation software tool, but I actually chose Facebook because there is no place. Facebook is like a Reddit on steroids with the Facebook groups. Like you can literally search for any topic, and I tried to think of like the most wild topic. Like if you're selling a SaaS in gardening, I don't even know how that would work, but there's literally a group for everything, and there's so many members. Like I literally just checked this one, and you have gardening with 1.3 million members. like, like where else are you gonna go on the internet and have access to that many people on a certain niche, certain topic, certain industry? It's like,
And with a lot daily posts, indeed, with 10 plus posts a day.
yeah, it's nuts. It's really nuts. So what we did is, and I go through the entire strategy, and we'll definitely go into this in more detail, but it's good for you to either have like a burner Facebook profile and just like run all that there separately. Because I know people have like very personal Facebook profiles and they don't want to use it for anything sales or marketing related, or partnering with someone that can do it. Or an idea that even came to my mind is you can literally create, it sounds weird, but like a AI persona. And I've seen this done on LinkedIn, and people are doing some crazy LinkedIn outreach with AI personas if you don't want your own face behind the brand, which I think is kind of weird. But yeah, using Facebook for for getting customers is like super duper effective. And then second place, I mean, the reason also just the monthly active users, you have 4 billion and like only 5 billion people have access to the internet. So like Facebook literally accounts for like 60+% of people with internet. Like where else are you going to go? The second one is email, cold email to get customers. And we kind of dive into that, but those are like the two that I'd pick. For customer acquisition, if you could just choose one and master it, and then of course later you can scale, do everything. But yeah, I'm definitely biased. But I think it's there's a good case for Facebook being the one and only if you could just pick one.
I have another question, if you
Mhm.
may ask me. So I have a client that wants to build a project that is a very big project that will need like a year or two to be built. And the client is aware that it has a necessity.
Yep.
And I know that when if I made that product for him,
Mhm.
I will be able to sell to other clients in the same niche. But I don't know how to price it well for what he wants. But basically, it's a completely system to build everything in the internet. Basically, they want to have everything online with their clients, with their students, and everything.
So you don't know how to price. So he came to you as a developer to build it for him, correct?
Yes,
And
and
your
he wants
question
to
is you
manage
don't
it
know how to
everything.
price it for him.
Yes, yes.
Price it in terms of the project or price in terms of the actual SaaS?
No, in terms of the project for the SaaS.
Okay, so
Because the SaaS will be a second thing after I made the project.
mhm.
Because I need to do the project first.
Yeah, this is a good question because we have a couple people now that have come to us to build products for them. And I am now more inclined to own equity in the things that we're building. And the reason is because if I'm going to build something with my co-founder, I want it to be super duper good. If I align with that person and what they're building and I like it, I will charge them a lot less. Depending on what it is, I will even just go bare bones. We barely even make a profit. We're just covering our expenses and we come on as partners. That's an idea. And I love that model so much. You basically act as a venture studio. You don't have to do it if you don't feel aligned with the product. But
Okay.
I would say number one, just start with like what your expenses are.
Okay.
If you need to hire designers, if you're going to be doing everything yourself, or if you're going to have a couple developers under you, if you need to hire designers or whatever,
Yes, I
definitely
need
just
to hire. I need to hire staff for that,
uh
and I know what will be more or less the expenses of everything.
mhm.
I just need to understand if it's a viable way, and do just the work and manage it, just to manage it.
So first is like, do you even like, do you want to take the project on?
Uh, I like the project. I
Mhm.
want to build a project, but I know that will be difficult to implement everything like in one go. It will be a 1 to 2 years work.
Yeah. I would always go for a project-based price. I wouldn't do like a monthly retainer. Just
Yes,
incentives are like weird when you get to monthly retainer stuff
yes,
when it comes to building stuff.
yes.
So I lean towards giving a price. Um, the second question I have for you is, do you feel like you would, do you feel like you like the project? Like you would want to maybe own some equity in it as well?
I can't because it's for a school. I can't get the equity on that.
It's
I can do it. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So I can do a little SaaS to resell to another schools.
Yeah, so in that case, just take a look at your expenses, whatever it is, and I would say at least 50% profit. So mark it up.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. And see if
yeah,
if
there's nothing
if
else really you can do
yeah.
in terms of creativity. I really like the equity style and acting as a venture studio nowadays, but
Yeah, but I can do that on the school.
yeah, you can't really do that. So I would say like it's not really worth taking on a project if you're making less than 50% profit on it.
Okay.
So look, if any of you guys have any ideas, feel free to jump in. But my view, just even in the agency space, is
It's
just
double it.
you need at least like 50% margins if it's going to be worth your time doing it.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Thanks for your inputs.
mhm, yeah, yeah, yeah. We had a couple people come to us. There was a guy in even like the transportation industry. He was building some like software for like truckers or something. I was like, wow, that's never built anything in that industry before.
We
I
have
was
a
like,
lot. It's terrible.
what was that?
We have a commercial insurance client,
Mhm.
and it's a lot of learning in that whole, dealing with the DOT and
Yeah.
all the regulation.
Yeah, I was speaking to my co-founder yesterday. I was like, do we like I obviously want equity in everything if I could,
Right.
but like do I it's like trucking industry. It's like it's good and bad because he couldn't bring up competitors for his idea, which I personally it's 50-50. It could be like really good or it could be kind of like a red flag.
Yeah.
It depends really.
Is it selling to the actual trucker or like
It's a marketplace app where he's connecting people to like jobs or something like that.
okay, so those are called dispatch boards. If that's like the same concept where as a trucker you can get on and find loads. There's
Mhm,
loads of competition for that. But
mhm.
yeah,
Yeah,
mainly it's just
so
regulation.
there's a lot of learning involved, so you have to take that into account as well. There's just going to be spending hours on like researching and that kind of stuff. But yeah, man, like I was thinking just recently operating of like people coming to me and asking me to like as a marketing sales guy, my ideas get flowing of like, okay, well, yeah, we can build this for you. Like we can make 20 grand, 30 grand on a project building something, but just the time that goes into it, and eventually you build something where it's like, oh, this is pretty nice. Like I like the way this turned out. And you just like let it go. It's like, why not try to retain some equity, charge them a bit less, act as a venture studio. And if it makes sense, I would just say it's a really good model. Partnering with people and having them run the business and you just own a piece of it. Why not? If you're gonna be building it anyways.
Yes, yes, yes. But in this case, I will be
Yeah, yeah.
everything
I
ours.
understand. I understand. I just mean in general, yeah. Um,
So with Dialy, because you guys built Dialy out of your studio, and
mhm.
then is it just too much effort you think on your side or too much distraction to really run with it?
The thing with Diley is I personally want to focus if I'm gonna just be the CEO, the head of a product company, I
Yeah.
really just want to go all in on it. And I just thought to myself, like, I don't want to do that with Diley. I'd want to do it with something more like true to what I've done. So I like Clippy a lot because I used to send an absurd amount of looms to get clients from outreach. So it really was like more true to me. Whereas
Gotcha.
with Diley, not really. Like I did cold calls and stuff like that, but it wasn't, yeah. So the Facebook growth automation tool is kind of what we're more so focusing on. So I was like, we're either going to find some like a really good entrepreneur who can run Diley for let's say half the equity, we can partner with them, or we just outright get acquired.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So even when you have a thesis on a product, sometimes it's just not worth running with.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And I guess you can make a case for still wanting to own a piece of it because it's still good, and just
Yeah.
finding like the right person to run it for you. Because there are people that do align more with the thesis, right? And they'll be like, well, this is great. We can run this as their own product. We can add this to what we currently have to other platform or whatever. And so you still know there's potential. Like I look at Diley and the whole like AI dialing and the conversational AI space, and it's so early, and like that there's potential to disrupt like so many different industries with that tech. Whereas like, although I don't want to be at the forefront running it, like I still want a piece of it. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm looking at a lot of the projects nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense.
There is a good venture studio if you guys are interested. Oh, what's his name? One sec. I'm gonna send it. Give me a sec. I'm gonna find it. Okay, I found it. Atomic.vc. So the guy that runs this venture studio, I'll share my screen. This guy is a total G. This guy's a gangster. So we found and fund companies. They also operate as like a fund, but some of the Jack Abraham, this is the CEO. Some of the companies that these guys have built, you have hims and hers. You have Replicant, which is a conversational AI company. These guys are on a roll with the companies that they're building inside of their venture studio, which is nuts. The venture studio model is so good. If you can get it right, if you do it right. The downside is there is a downside, which is kind of like your focus is all over the place. But if you go all in on building a good venture studio, then your focus is then on partnering with the right people, and they're kind of running it for you, and you just kind of check in and you connect. You're more of like a deal maker, I guess, which is it's cool. And these
This
guys are
is
getting
like Alex Hormozzi? No.
I don't really know what Alex Ramosi does with acquisitions.com or acquisition.com. He Yeah, if anyone knows fully, feel free to speak on it. I think they just buy companies. I think they just acquire the companies. I don't know if they definitely don't build them. So
Yes, from what I understand, they get the company to go to a certain
I
state
think they just yeah,
and
they
get
buy a
equity on it.
company and they'll like roll it up into their portfolio, which is a little bit different than building a company. Let's say it's like you built the company yourself from scratch, or it's like you and a partner built it, and then you kind of just partner with either bring in a good entrepreneur to run it for you as like a CEO, or the other side is like someone comes to you and you're like, hey, I want you to build me this product, and they're already acting as a CEO, and then you say, hey, like I'll charge you less, I just want a piece of it, 20%, 30%, and you just own a piece of it. And so yeah, that's what these guys are doing. They're doing very well. They have so many hits. So they also raised a round, so they just raised 150 million as well. And so they're the Pixar of startups. That's what they call them. So this is very interesting to see how it will progress. But yeah. So yeah, that's that. Any other topics you can dive into? Any questions? So I have some time.
I think I'm good.
Yeah, I think like in 3 weeks we will have a lot of more things to discuss than in these 3 meetings.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
See you guys.
Take care, guys.
Thank you
Have a
very
good one.
much, Michael.
All right. Bye.
Take care.